far apart.
I know.
Sure you're yelling. All right, good to go. All right. All right, we'll call to order the Apex Public Art Committee meeting for October 21st, 2024. So our first order of business today is to do an approval of the meeting minutes from our meeting on September 16th, 2024. So do we have a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from 16th of September.
All right, we have a motion, a second?
Second.
All right, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No? Okay, motion passes. All right, Taylor, the town liaison report.
I don't have anything at this time, but plenty to talk about in old business and new business.
Okay, sounds fantastic. Same on the chairperson's report, so I'll hold my comments till we get into the business items. And seeing no public, we will move right into old business. So the first one up is the mural at White Oak Creek. So we've made great progress with one of the select artists. We're not quite under contract yet, so I think we'll maybe Taylor, if you can give us a little update on how close we might be there, and then the next steps, as soon as that happens more officially, is we get into design meetings and stuff like that. So look out for those in November, but yeah, maybe you can give us a little update how it's going.
Sure. We are under 2 weeks away from the contract being 100% completed.
All right.
We're hoping it will be sooner than that, but we are waiting on the contract COI information from the artist. So they have been going back and forth with me, just getting the details. So we're getting close. They are on board, but before we hit that final signature, we like to not name names until we get that on board. But we're really coming close. So I'm hoping, that first full week of November, we'll have those first meetings for the design, which I think will be great.
Yeah, that'll be fantastic. And we feel like it, just be a couple of rounds of those discussions, so shouldn't consume too much of this team's time, but basically it'll be this team plus the folks from the communities that helped us out with the down select of the artists. So yeah, looking forward to that. Should be great. Any questions on that project from anyone at this point?
I have one. I don't know if we ever decided on a theme.
Yeah.
Okay.
Theme is nature. And that was in the proposal.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. Okay, good.
Cool. All right. Next item, crosswalk art. There's a couple that are on crosswalk art. So the first one is the Salem Street crosswalk. So I'll put that to Taylor for an update on that.
So I'm moving just so you can see the images.
All right. Good stuff.
Since this is a new venue for us, I am still learning our technology abilities. Crosswalk. Okay. I won't always be right here, but for the sake of moving images back and forth, figured it's easier. So the Salem Street Crosswalk mural call for artists, it's a mouthful. The application was live starting last Friday. That is live until December 17th. This is a part of the official theme that you guys voted on, so thank you. That is now the arts. So that will be painting, books, theater, etc. We'll work with the artist to really outline what that means in this specific space with this high visibility. The selection committee, consisting of public art committee members and a few select downtown business owners, will be formed soon to then choose the muralists. It'll be that kind of smaller group so that we can choose from the applications. And then the virtual meeting will be shortly after the December 17th deadline to schedule who the artist will be for that project. And the mural deadline, so paint on the ground, everything, is July 1, 2025. So we've got our whole schedule planned out based on that deadline. That's what I have for that.
Okay. Question on, you said it is live?
It is live.
The RFP? Okay, great.
Mhm.
So I'll forward it out to, and anyone else can please do that. Forward it out to your list of artists if you have people in particular that you think might qualify and be interested in the project. Good stuff. Any other questions for Taylor? All right, we'll go on to the next one. So the other crosswalk project, Sean's leading that one. He couldn't make it tonight, so he did send me an update. So he does have some concepts of what could be done. This is at Hunter Street Park is the proposed location. There's 2 crosswalks. One, it's the parking lot that's in between, I don't have any images of it, parking lot in between the soccer field and the softball field. So if anybody's familiar with that, and there's 2 entrances or exits to that drive area. So that's something that one could be closed off while one is done, and then when that's complete, open that one up and then close the other side. So it's a manageable location, and it's not on an actual road. It's actually technically the parking lot. So should be something that hopefully can work out. So my question for you, Taylor, is what are the next steps with the town? Is there somebody that maybe a small group meets with someone to just kind of walk through it offline to get the right kind of information to them and that type of thing?
Yeah, so we'll want to, in proposing this location, we'll want to meet, I'll need to meet you out there to really outline what we're looking for, and we'll need to nail down a concept for that space before we bring it up the chain.
Okay.
And then we'll operate very similarly to how we will do the other crosswalk, which will be, formulate a design if we're going to do it in-house. If we're not going to do it in-house, then we'll have to go through the whole application process. Yeah. If we are going internal design, like Public Art Committee creating and painting, then we'll kind of jump a step and do the public review for 30 days. So what that means is there will be an opportunity for the public to say, yes, we love this design, or no, here's our feedback, and then we'll bring it to council with that feedback.
Okay.
So the location is the meetup is what we'll need to do first.
Okay. All right, great. So we'll work with Sean to get a time that works for him, and we can meet out there hopefully in the next couple of weeks. Okay, so I'll take that action to contact Sean on that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, good stuff. Okay, any questions on that one from anyone? All right. Hey, Ewan. Okay, next one, digital art. So this is our video project. So we'll get maybe an update from Taylor in a moment just about how it's going with the engineering design and maybe some rough timing of when the projector will actually be installed. But just from me, I've been in contact with a production company that can do some content for us for the opening, right? And help us kind of coach us through a little bit how to do that going forward. We also had a meeting with the provider of the projector and the technology and the software application that comes along with that a couple of weeks ago, and they walked us through that software and how that might work, and some folks from IT from the town were there as well, so I think that made everybody feel pretty comfortable about how to manage that kind of going forward too. So those are a couple of things that have been going on the side, but if you can give us a little update, Taylor, on the
In addition to those meetings, I have met with Avcon individually, and there's a company called BrightSign. That's what Tom's talking about for the essentially it's like the mini computer that will be attached to the projector that will be signaling, saying, hey, here's the art, let's project it. And then in addition to those meetings, I've also talked with our structural engineers that are working on the drawings for the structure that will be holding the projector. Structural engineers are working on those drawings and should have them completed by our November PAC meeting, so that's November 18th. Hopefully before that, we've been going between them and Avcon. Our 3 parties have been talking to make sure that we've got everything in place. We had a preliminary meeting and the structure looks very good. It's very straightforward, so that we can have a really clean slate if we want to do art on it or attached to it or near it in the future. Let's see here. We do have, we being Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Resources does have a contractor in mind for the actual construction of the structure, and we'll be contracting them as soon as the drawings are 100% complete. So we're working on step 1, but we've already got step 2 planned out.
Okay. All right, good stuff. Any questions from anyone on that one? Yeah, Lafayette.
Question.
Yeah.
You mentioned a cost associated with the launch or the premiere.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a one-time fee that's associated with that, or is that sustainable across the usage?
Yeah, so the software that we'll use, so that's already included, so that's not an issue. We don't have to necessarily do something at the launch, but one of the things that we had talked about in the past was using, in essence, this is a mural, using our other mural funds that we had available in order to get very professionally curated content to start out and have a strong start. So that would be a one-time cost, or maybe an event-based cost. So in other words, if there was another very special event, maybe it's next year holiday time or something, and we want to do something a little bit more at a different level or that kind of thing, contract with some professional artists to create content, then maybe that's something we do again in the future. Okay, but that was what I meant.
Okay, so then, if I'm hearing you correctly, if there could be costs that are event-based, maybe annually,
Yeah.
and where would we would
Yeah, it's from
be the source
public
of
art,
public
yeah,
arts funds?
art
Okay.
funds. That's great.
And that is a basic range of funds or could it be extreme?
It
just
can
trying to
range quite a lot. There's a lot of things you can do. It could be a couple of $1,000s. It could range to much higher for very complex artwork that you might see. So it can range quite a lot. Yeah.
Okay, and one more question.
Uh-huh.
And the cadence of events that we would utilize it for, and yearly.
Yeah.
Is it
We're still not
any
working. We're
particular
still working
number?
through that, but it's not necessarily event based. So
Okay.
it could be, and we put some guidelines together
Yeah.
that went to the town. They're still doing a review on the guidelines, and we'll get some more feedback from
Okay.
them probably in the next month or so.
Right.
So one of the things that we talked about in the past was it's not like we don't want it on every night. First of all, we probably burn out the equipment and that kind of thing. But we also don't want it to get stale, right? So, but it could be a weekend-based thing for a couple of hours on the weekend. That might be a thing that happens year-round. So it's partly the town. We provided input, and the town will give us feedback on how they want to manage it.
Okay. We've been talking about it for a while, so it's getting closer now, and
it's getting closer.
kind of excited. That's all.
Yeah.
I know, isn't it exciting?
Yeah, it is.
I also think it's one of those things where once it starts, then we kind of gauge, and the town will gauge what makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it might
Indeed.
be like, wow, we're overdoing it, we're overexposing it, and we'll back down. Or the opposite could be true. It's like, no, this is terrific. Let's run it more. So we'll see.
Very cool.
Okay.
I have a question, and it's sort of following up on that. As like, for example, say somebody wants to rent out the Halley space for an event, or a show, or an art show, or something. Could we do something to promote that on the exterior? Or, for example, say someone's having a quinceañera or a rehearsal dinner party at the Halley upstairs. Would it be possible to project the happy couple or something of this?
That was not the
Nature.
intent. The intent
Okay.
is public art.
Okay.
So it's not to be advertisement
Okay.
or certainly
Special
not personal
events.
events.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
that's not part of the intent.
So even if it was promoting something, maybe something within the community festival or parade or holiday,
I think
or
themed a long time,
Okay.
along with other themed events that are going on in
Okay.
town. I can
Yeah.
envision, and we've talked about this. We have the 4th of July
I can
Yes.
see that. I
thing,
can
right?
see
And
that.
then you
Right.
would have themed material
Right.
around that, you know, and that absolutely makes sense, right? But it
Yeah.
still would be
Obvious.
art, you know, in a way. And
Yeah.
so we wouldn't necessarily put up on July 4th from XYZ to this, you know, like an ad.
Yeah, Right.
Not really that,
Got it.
right? Yeah.
got it.
That's the idea.
Okay, yeah,
Does that make sense?
that does, that does.
All right, other stuff? And more to come, you know, it's still
Yeah.
gonna take a little while for this to happen, but, you know, I think we're targeting now maybe springtime type of launch.
That's the
Oh, so not the holidays.
No, we're not gonna make this window next holiday.
No, we really want.
I know, right?
I really wanted to, yeah, no, that's good clarification, yeah.
Maybe next 4th of
Yeah.
July.
It'll make it for some holidays.
Yeah, some holiday.
Yes,
Some
yes.
holiday,
Christmas.
that's
Yeah.
right. All right, public art stickers, another one that Sean was looking into. So he's found a place, Taylor, online that can get about 1,000 of these for about $300. So it's very affordable, and that number we could scale up or down, you know, and the price would scale accordingly. I can forward to you what he shared with me,
Yes, please.
and then maybe we can kind of look at it, into it, and maybe share it around with this group via Slack or something like that. And if we're
Yeah.
all in favor, we can maybe take it to a vote next time and
Sounds good.
make it happen. Would that be
Sounds
great?
good to me. What exactly? Because I wasn't here the
Yeah.
meeting that this was
The
launched.
idea was,
What
again, to
would they
just
be
kind
used for?
of promote public art, and just in a subtle way. So really, it's the logo is the proposal, and just these would be giveaway kind of stickers at some kind of event, or if you know, you might have them at the Halley and distribute them to people, that kind of thing, and they might
Okay.
wherever they might stick a sticker.
Sure.
Water
and-
bottle.
and use those in some, yeah,
Computer.
yeah, that kind of thing. Right,
Okay. I just wanted to know for some
Mhm.
detail.
sure thing.
Definitely not strange places around town.
No, yeah, but you
Not
know,
like
people
skate
have
shop
distributed.
stickers.
It's not unusual to distribute stickers, but yeah, so we would hope they wouldn't show up in too many of those kind of places.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Holiday window painting, Bethany.
Yeah. So we're still on board for December 2nd from 3 to approximately 5, I think is the end time we hoped for. The 3 schools are all still, high schools are still doing it. And Taylor, I owe you a list of a couple items. Not a whole lot, just a couple paper plates, and I'll send you that list by the end of the week
Okay. Thank you.
of some things that we need in addition to maybe some cookies and hot cocoa.
Please.
So, and that's really all I have.
Okay, great. And that day is the Monday after Thanksgiving.
Correct.
Yeah. It's our traditional day for painting.
Yes.
If there's anyone here that can help to support that, you don't necessarily have to paint, but it's just nice to kind of herd
Give
the crew and,
Yeah.
and you know, make sure they have the supplies they have and stuff like that.
Still the same locations, right?
That's right. Yeah. I'll be out of town, so I won't be able to help out this year, which I'm disappointed about. But send me photos.
Yes. We'll make sure to take pictures. And that might be something, Susan, you can help remember
Okay.
to do.
Yeah, sure.
Sometimes you're in the middle of it and
Yeah.
forgetting to take photographs.
Yeah.
That can be a lot
I
going
believe
on.
last year, somebody from the town, I think Courtney Butler might have been there taking some
Oh,
video of the
Oh,
fire
okay.
station. So
Yeah, that would be
that was great.
Good.
So, okay, any questions on that one? All right, sculpture walk stuff. So both of them are kind of listed here. I'll give fast forward to our fifth annual. That one, the call for artists is out. So we got about another month or so to get those replies. So hopefully we'll start to see those rolling in, but we know they all come in at the last week, which is always a little stressful, but we'll do what we can. So that's happening, but I listed number 4 on here as well because our intent is to bring a couple of pieces in front of the town council for approval for purchase from a Sculpture Walk 4. So just Taylor, any update on that?
Sure. So I was reading through. Essentially, we have to do like a land survey, if you will. So whenever we put any concrete pad down, we have to see what's going to be under that or what is already under that. And so Tom and I have been able to work on, I think there was like 4 or 5 locations trying to figure out. And so far, the ones that we've chosen, there are ones that are adjacent to it. So there was one that was talked about over by the depot, actually very similar to where we can see on that image. In the front of the depot, and there's actually a space a little further back. So Tom, I'll be sending you a map of the suggested locations.
Okay, great.
And we can kind of go over those. But after that, it would then be brought to council, and the idea is just to remind everybody, the committee had suggested bringing 2 sculptures to council for purchase as a suggestion, and that was the recommendation. So that would be the best in show winner and the People's Choice Award. So best in show was Bob Doster's Keyhole Portal, and People's Choice was Timothy Wirrell's, and I apologize if I'm saying his name wrong, Doves of Peace. And so those will go up. So essentially we're trying to find 2 spaces just with the fact if we're going to be proposing 2 pieces, we need to have 2 spaces ready. So it's been tricky finding those spaces because we're growing and we're expanding, which is great. So that's where we're at. I'm hoping to bring that to the late November council meeting, which I believe is a month from today, the 21st. It's on a Thursday this time. I think it's moved because of the Thanksgiving holiday.
Okay. Very good. Okay, thank you. Any questions on any of that stuff? All right, that's it for old business. New business, so budget. On this, it's more just a reminder. So if you have any ideas for items we might want to include in the budget for next year, so we typically try to gather that information, well, around this time of year, get it to Taylor, and the budget process starts when, pretty much January? Or
They moved it up.
Okay,
So
well, there you go.
they moved it up, yeah.
Yeah.
So the earlier the better. If we can talk about budget items at our next meeting,
Yeah, okay.
that would be great.
That would be
And
good.
then I'll turn those over to our department head. And I will say we'll need to have that preliminary budget done by the first week of December. So it's
Okay.
1 month earlier than
Yeah.
normal.
Okay, so if anybody has any ideas, just send them to Taylor and I, and we'll include them in our list. And it might be some of the things that, new ideas, or could be, some of our, historical programs, right, that we've had. Okay.
Do we have any visibility into, I guess, the previous budget and what line items it currently exists, just so we can have a
Yeah, I can
Some
share.
guide- some
I can share
guidelines.
that out. Yeah, with the team.
might be interesting
So,
to
You wanna
actually,
see the current
yeah, if you don't
budget?
mind, Taylor,
Yeah,
just
I'll
in
send
case
that.
the version I have
just
isn't
everybody to
100%. Yeah.
reference.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I can definitely do that. And then
Okay.
that way you'll be able to see like how we formulate it, so you kind of know like
Yeah.
topic of project, things like that.
I want to bring up, well, sorry for going back to the sculpture walk. One more thing. The new Iona charging station-y place going in, is that putting that sculpture at risk at all? Has anybody reached out to the new owner of the property to find out if?
I have not. That's a
Yeah.
good question. I don't know, Taylor, have you
Sure.
heard from anybody on that one?
I've not heard from the owner. She and I have gone back and forth about other items that were originally on her property, but I will make a note to follow up with her this week because it's very close to the sculpture, but it's not quite at it.
It's
So I
outside
want to
of it.
just
There's
make sure
fencing
that
that's
there's
nearby,
not,
yeah.
it's not gonna evolve into a possible future problem.
I can see it growing day by day, and it's slowly creeping that way. I would hate to find out after something is
Yes.
damaged.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'll reach out to her. That's a good point.
All right, very good. Next item up, mural on West Street Park. So we met with Angela Renke, who's coordinates, runs really all of the Parks and Rec type projects. So had a good meeting with her, and just to make sure that we're included in that project when it does continue to develop. They're working out contractual items right now with the design firm. So she's got us on her list. So we'll be part of that design process and ultimately the project process. There's some very high level schedule, but not enough right now to know exactly when we'll engage. But she'll keep us informed, and I'll follow up with Angela kind of, I guess, quarterly or something like that until we get in on the schedule. So just want to let everybody know that one's out there. And then amphitheater mural project, potential project. Taylor?
Yes, I'm moving again.
All right.
Just because I find that it's a lot easier to do things when everything is visual.
Sounds good.
Like I said earlier, I promise I'll have it down by our next meeting. Alrighty, so in case you haven't gone, this is the front facing of the Nature Park Amphitheater, and you'll see here on the image in front of you, or if you need to, we've got the TVs here, this yellow wall in question inside and under the amphitheater. So the Public Art Committee was asked to look into doing a mural on this yellow wall in the Nature Park Amphitheater. It is proposed for fiscal year 25-26. So as we talk about our budget, this is something that we are being asked to consider to do. There's also a thought, number one, that it could be a community-driven mural. Number two, that it is a mural painted in conjunction with Earth Fest 2026, and that we could ask the muralist to complete and clean up the final mural for overall professionalism. So those are all just requests if we're going to think about doing a mural here. None of this is a requirement, but it is a request from council, so it is something to know. And just to get it out there, as we think about our budget for 25-26, this is something that they're thinking about. Typically a range for a mural is under 20 grand. Hopefully with something like this, with the community involvement, we can get maybe a 15K budget proposed for that. But yeah, the idea would be that for the actual Earth Fest in 2026, it would be inviting people or children, depending on what our overall scope is of this mural, and working with an official muralist to clean it up. And they would be present at the festival.
Question?
Please.
So if I heard you correctly, we wouldn't be commissioning this by itself, but we would open it up to community and clean it up with a muralist.
We would be commissioning a muralist for the overall mural, and the community would help paint it and finish it.
And then they would finish it.
Yes.
That's still under that same budget.
Yes, it'd be under the 25-26 budget.
Yeah, the way these work is an artist, they'll do the design, they'll set it up in such a way that people can do various pieces of it.
Yeah, like we were gonna do over here.
Yeah, like we did with the Unity mural, and this is pretty common approach,
Yeah.
but within guidelines, so people can have their hand in it to some degree, right? Yeah.
Is the Earth Day proposal, is that set in stone, or are they open to?
No, the entire projection for this project is open for interpretation. This specific location was brought up, and a separate part of our department, the Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Resources Department, suggested having it a part of an Earth Day type of event to incorporate more of like the nature-esque theme of the whole park. But none of it is required. It is just open for recommendation right now.
I like the idea of using the Unity mural as kind of a guide. Did the Unity mural, did the community involvement piece of the Unity mural increase, decrease, or keep the same, the budget?
It had no impact on it because we built it in from the beginning, and in that case, it was a very limited audit. It wasn't a full-on, just anybody kind of show up. There was a committee and a kind of a working support team kind of thing as part of that. So it was a little bit different, but generally these, they're not gonna, it's not gonna impact the budget one way or another significantly. There might be some minor stuff, but
Okay.
yeah. Now, a couple of things for us to keep in mind, though. It's a very small space, so that doesn't actually lend itself really well to community involvement. So we just need to kind of think about that, because you can't get that many hands in there, and you could quickly cover the space very rapidly, right? But that's some things as we get deeper into this project, if it's even one that, you know, makes the budget and all that kind of stuff, we'll just have to keep in mind to see if that makes sense for this one.
Is the town council asking about all 4 sides?
No, they only mentioned the front-facing yellow wall, which is this one right here with the electric signs.
Yeah, I think we should wrap the whole thing.
Right.
I don't
Yeah,
know what the
like-
back.
we
I
could
don't know what
definitely
the
do a
other side
wrap.
looks like, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think that could
I
be.
think the yellow side
I-
would be like odd.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'd be missing
Well, I actually think the other side is more
Oh,
appealing
the external.
to, I mean, well, it faces an area where people are walking and are a lot more.
There
It's
is a
quite
double
visible.
door on the other side
Oh, there
that we could potentially still do a mural on top of.
Sure,
I say we wrap it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think so too.
that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. But we'll go out and get a 360 of it, see what makes sense, but I think you're on the right. Yeah,
Mhm.
that makes sense. Okay,
I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm.
any other
But I do wanna
questions,
do all 4 sides.
questions
I
on
like
this one?
it.
Comments, questions on this one anymore? Okay. All right, very good. Any other new business? A volley out there today.
Where do they put the movie screen when they do it?
Sure. The movie screen is put up actually in front of the concrete slab, so it's actually on the greenery.
Mm.
Mhm.
All right. Any other comments or business? Yep. Hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
There's a motion, a second?
Second.
There's a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, meeting adjourned.